Welcome to the Central Kentucky Computer Society. This is the All Things Apple Special Interest Group. Tonight we will have 4 presentations. I'll be talking about how to customize your iPad home screen with widgets. Joe is going to talk about artificial intelligence, kind of how to enable it on your phone, and then he'll demonstrate how you can use it in a message. He's also going to show you how to find maybe a blouse or a shirt that you've seen, but you want to know where you can buy it and how much it is. So he's going to show you how to go about doing that. Kurt is going to talk about the time machine, and he says that built-in backup software has been around a long time, but a lot of people are not using it. And then Phil is joining us. This is his first All Things Apple presentation, and he will be joining us every month. And he's going to talk about how do you take care of your digital remains when you pass. That's something that your loved ones, that will really help your loved ones if you can set some things up ahead of time. So that's what we're going to cover today. I'm going to go ahead and start with widgets since I'm already sharing my screen. And I basically am going to talk about how you put widgets on your devices. It's actually, I'm showing it on an iPad, but it's very similar on the iPhone. So to start with, what are widgets? They're just mini apps that show you quick information. Apple says the technical term, a small software application that's designed to provide a specific piece of information, such as news, weather, traffic updates. And they're part of an app installed on your iPad. So I may have my widgets may look different than your widgets because I may have some apps different than yours. So there'll be a little bit of a difference there. You can add it to home screens, today's screen, and lock screen. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my home screen. Here on my home screen, I've added some widgets, and I'll talk about those in a minute. But I also want to show you that if you swipe on your iPad from left to right, when you do that, that brings up your today screen. And your today screen is what holds just a lot of widgets. You can just put certain widgets that you want easy access to on that page. Okay. At the top, you also can pull down. When you pull down, you get your notification screen, and it's also your lock screen. And here you can add widgets. Okay, so these are the 3 places that you can add them. I mentioned that I've added some to my home screen just so you can see what I'm talking about. Here is a weather widget. And so it kind of gives me not only the temperature, but even the radar. I can look at it very quickly on my iPad and watch it there. You notice it's a different size than this widget. So they come in different sizes, and you can decide what size you want. And here I have my calendar up. This one is an interesting one because it is actually a stack. So when I put my finger on it, you'll notice two buttons to the right, 2 dots. So I also have my battery widget, and I have my weather widget. So you can actually stack them. Okay, to get these widgets on your home screen, there's actually 2 ways. The first way, and the same way that you would do for your today's screen or your notification, I'm going to put my finger here, and I'm just going to get all of my apps wiggling. And then I'm going to go up here to the top, and I'm going to hit edit. And then that's where I will then hit add widget. And this screen comes up. They're showing you right here on this side some suggestions, possible widgets you might be interested in. But right here are all of your widgets. Okay. So I am going to actually add the clock widget because I kind of want to be able to look at my iPad and see the clock. Also, I want to show you how many different versions of the clock that you can get. So I'm going to tap clock, and here, what about 8 different versions. You could have the digital version, or if you swipe from right to left, there's another display, analog, another one. So these are all different clock faces. Okay. So you can even get the world clock and you can actually edit those. But I'm just going to go ahead and put the digital clock on this. So to add it, I go down here, I hit add widget. I will add it. And notice it has popped up right here. So I could tap my screen and they could quit wiggling. Or maybe I don't want to take up so much space. Maybe I want to put it on something, or, put it in a stack. I really can't put it here because that's a different size. It has to go on another one that's about the same size. So I'm going to put my finger on it. I'm going to drag it, and then I'm going to slide it on top of that. And now it is on this stack. I've got 3 on that stack. Okay, so that's the way you generally add widgets to any of those screens. The other kind of neat thing is that on the home screen, you can actually, if they do have a widget, if the app has a widget, you can actually change an app to a widget. So here is CNN down here. And let's say I want that to actually be a app. I can just press on it and notice down here, you see these right here? If I tap any of those, they become widgets, but different sizes of widgets. All right. So I will go ahead and go with maybe the larger one. Okay. So there that is. So if you would like to keep up with news, you want it right there. It will change as the news changes, and you can move it anywhere you want. So that is how you very easily get a widget, change an app to a widget on your home screen. So any questions for me? Okay, I will stop sharing and we will move on to Joe Dietz.
Okay. We're going to do a couple of things tonight. Brookie mentioned, I'll just to readdress them. We're going to show you how to activate AI on your phone and then show you one particular thing that it does, I think, very well. When you are writing something out, a letter, a note, a message to somebody, when I do it, it's pretty blunt and brief and not very fancy. But you can go to your AI program and tell it to change the writing in either a friendly way or a professional way or a concise way. I'll show you how to do that. And then the next thing will be you can have a piece of clothing or a pair of scissors or a pocket knife, and you want to know how much it costs and where can you get it. Well, you take a picture and I'll show you that in a minute. First, let me go to share. First thing I'm going to do is, and if you want to follow along, you're certainly welcome to do that. I'm going to go to my settings, which is right here, and tap on that. Once I get here, I'm going to scroll. This is all of my settings. I'm going to scroll down until I find Apple Intelligence and Siri. Once I get here, I'm going to tap on that. And then this top item here is Apple Intelligence. And this needs to be toggled on so it's green. If it's a cream color or something like that, then it means it's not turned on. So if you want to use this, turn it on. So that's the first step of this session. Okay, next. I'm going to go to my notes. Okay, I've got a sentence here. The new iPhone updates includes features that may make it easier to stay organized and connected with friends and family. Now, I just made a copy of it here, so you'll be able to see what I'm doing. So what I want to do is reword this in a way that makes it, we'll start off with more professional. So I'm going to tap on this, double tap on it to get the bars. When you see these bars, you can drag them wherever you want them to be. And I want to catch this whole thing. And you can see it's all highlighted now. And then the next thing I want to do is go down here to this little symbol here. And that is your AI symbol. And I'm going to tap on that. And then I get my writing tools come up. And under the writing tools, one, you can get it, ask it to proofread it for you, and it'll do a pretty good job on that. Or you can go down a little bit further where you can do a friendly, a professional, or a concise version. I'm going to start off with a friendly and just ask it to do a friendly rewrite. And you can see here, the new iPhone update brings some cool features to help you keep things organized and stay in touch with your friends and family. So you can see that it wrote it a little bit different and trying to make it a little more friendly presentation. I'm going to kill that one with the X. And next I'm going to go down and do a professional rewrite. I'll click on professional. And here's a more professional version. The latest iPhone update introduces features that enhance organization and facilitate seamless communication with friends and family. A lot of big words. Anyway, that's number 2. So I'm going to kill that one. And next I'm going to go and use the concise. Right here, do concise. And you can see my original writing up there, and then the new write is the new iPhone update simplifies organization and connectivity with friends and family. So you've got these 3 different versions where you can make it friendly, professional, or concise. If you decide you want this one, then instead of it, I X'd out the other ones, I'm going to just hit the check mark here. And then there it is. So anyway, that's how you use the AI tool. I use this a lot when I'm trying to write maybe a note to somebody and I'm a loss for words. I'll write down my concept and then ask AI to make it a little bit better. Works real well. Okay, questions? All right. Next, I'm going to go to my photos and I'm going to search for a shirt. Okay, here's an example. Let's say you saw a shirt that you liked and wanted to find where you might be able to get that. So here's a picture of one of my shirts. It's a chaps and a long sleeve and so forth. Anyway, so what you're going to do is you're going to take a picture of that. And once you take a picture of it, you're going down to the bottom of your screen. It's usually right down in this area. You won't see it on here. You go to the share button, and you're probably familiar with the share button. You have a lot of different options, and like airdrop or messages or mail or notes. But if you scroll on down and keep scrolling, it's not coming across, as you'll see here in a minute. I find a icon down here of Amazon, and this says find products on Amazon. So I'm going to tap on that, and then I'll tap on it again. And it starts, see those little dots, it's searching. And then now there's the shirt. Some of them are long sleeves, some of them are short sleeve, but basically they've gone in and found the shirt that I was looking for. And if you want it, you can just, they've got some arrangement with Amazon, I'm sure, but you can tap on this and it'll go to your cart. Pretty neat. Let me show you one more right quick one here. Go to my photos again. How do you spell scissors? Is it O-R-E-R?
OR.
What I thought. Ah, okay. Here's a pair of scissors. And again, when you take a picture of this, after you do that, either get in really close to it, or if you can't do that, then crop it so it just shows the pair of scissors. So I'm going to tap on the share button. Then I'm going to scroll down to where it says find products on Amazon. And notice the dots, it's searching for it, trying to facilitate it. And then here is some different scissors. And if you find the one you want, add it to the cart, check out, and it'll be there probably tomorrow. Anyway, there's a couple of things there using AI and how to figure out the cost and where you might get a particular product.
What if you don't have
Questions?
Amazon? What if you don't have Amazon in that list? I have search with Google Gemini or search with Google. I have that.
As you scroll on down, you have a picture of something up you want to find?
Yeah, and I only found search it with Google. Isn't that funny?
Let me go back.
No, I don't have I don't have the latest phones. Is that the difference? I have a 13 Pro.
This is probably 15 Pro and above with iOS 26.
Okay. All right. Okay. Like maybe that's why I can only search with Google. Okay.
Okay, Donna, time to update.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you have to have iOS 15 Pro and above plus iOS 26. Okay, anything else? All right, let me stop sharing. It's all yours.
Great. Okay. Well, Joe, while you were doing that, I used one of my bowls that I made in pottery and asked it to see if there was anything on Amazon, and it came up with some bowls about the same color
Ah,
that I had made. So I knew that they couldn't find it, but it is fun. So Kurt, we are going to turn it over to you now.
okay, can you see my desktop?
Yes.
Yep.
Real quickly, I'm going to talk about Time Machine. I just finished teaching a Mac class, which I'm going to teach again in mid-March. And I was confounded. None of the students were using Time Machine. Simply amazing. It's an automatic backup program that's been available for the Mac since 2007. It's extremely easy to use. You have to have an external hard drive or solid state drive. Plug it in. It's got to be the right format. And you either go to System Preferences or System Settings. If you're using System Settings, if it's a newer operating system, you click on General, go down to Time Machine, and there you go. You plug in your external hard drive or solid state drive. You click on the plus, It wants my password. And then you add the drive and you can start backing up. You can also, if you want, tell it what you don't want to back up. For example, exclude from backups. If I click here and I put in my administrative password, I can tell it I don't want it to back up my applications, my apps. There's no reason. So I'm going to say exclude. And I can also, you probably can't see it, but I can also put a little icon on the very top up by the clock. It looks like a clock running backwards. I'm going to back up right now. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to come down to backup now. My drive is right here. This is the one that it's backing up to. I can go back up to the menu bar, and it's backing up. I know it's hard to see this because it's probably really tiny. I can skip this backup, or I can browse Time Machine backups. And I back up manually. You can back up every day, once a day. You can back up every hour. I back up manually, so I don't have that turned on. I just come up here, click on this icon when I'm done with whatever I've been working on for that day, and I come down to backup now, and it backs up. It says it's backed up 24% of the items on this machine. The first time you run it, when you get a new Mac, you run Time Machine. It takes maybe a half hour, maybe 45 minutes, depending on how much stuff you have on your machine. And then from then on, it's very quick. It's already up to 28%. Let me show you what it looks like to go back in time. Open Time Machine settings. That's not what I wanted. Browse Time Machine backups. Okay. Can you see this at all?
Yeah.
Can you see what it looks like? Do you have a black screen, a black folder like thing? I'm not sure you can see that. Do you see a black folder that's open on the screen?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Let me do that again. That's how you get into your backups. You just go up here to the little icon. I know you can't see it, but it's a backward moving hands on a clock. And I want to go open Time Machine. I keep on doing the wrong one. I want to click on, not that one, browse Time Machine backups. Okay, we're going back in time. And I have this timeline over here, and I can click on any date, and it will tell me what was on that machine at that time. I'm going back to March 25th of 2025. And over here, I can choose, I can click on my desktop, applications, documents, whatever. And this is what I had on this machine on this date. For example, I don't have this anymore. Look at all the junk I had on my desktop back in March 18th of this year. Most of this stuff I don't have anymore. I've gotten rid of, or they're on a hard drive somewhere, but they're in Time Machine, which I think is pretty cool. This stuff is all gone, but it's in Time Machine. It's not on my machine anymore.
So that's pretty cool, Kurt. So if you had gotten rid of it, but then you thought, oh, I really wanted it, then you can go back to your time machine.
And that's exactly right. That's why it's so cool to use. It's very cheap. Wait until Black Friday or Cyber Friday, buy an external hard drive for the Mac, plug it in, activate it, and it works. Let me show you real quickly. This is taking longer than I thought it would because this is an actual hard drive I have connected. I don't have a solid state drive. Solid state drives are newer. They're also more expensive. And that's why I don't have a solid state drive connected to this machine. But when you run the backup, it backs up everything throughout your computer on that date. And it's extremely, let me do one more. Browse time machine backups. Okay, we're going back in time. Did you feel that? Did you feel the earth move a little bit? Okay, this is today. And if I click on my desktop, my documents, and I can go back in time using this little up and down arrow thing here, these carrots. I'm going to click on desktop over here, go back in time. Okay, November 17th, November 14th, or I can use the little timeline over here. Let's see. Okay, we're going back to February 9th, 2025 at 2:38 p.m. These are all the things that I had installed. These were on my desktop back in February. Think I can get rid of some of this stuff? Yeah, I don't need all this stuff anymore, but I have them in case I want them, which is kind of neat. So this is just stuff I've got on here that I've saved that I don't have on the computer anymore. Yes, I don't have it on the computer anymore, but it's in Time Machine. So I can, it's pretty cool that you can do this. But that's how Time Machine works. It backs up everything. And if I need it and I have a date for it, if I keep the time, the date that I ran Time Machine, I can go back and pull it out of here and print it, send it to somebody, and it's no big deal. And I can get it off my computer. This saves a lot of space because I don't have to have this on the hard drive or the solid state drive. It's on an external drive. But I told my students, I said, you need to run this thing. It's free, it's on your machine, and you need to run it. And all you need is an external hard drive or an external solid state drive, and that's all. And when you buy one, for example, on Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, you might want to look online on Amazon or Best Buy or wherever you buy stuff. Look for it if it says made for Mac. It doesn't have to say that because more and more they're made for Windows and Mac both. And when you plug it in, it says format it. I always just erase it automatically. That's just me. When you plug in one of these, they have this lock thing on it that's supposed to secure it. I don't like that. It goes to the cloud. It's complicated. I erase it and I just use it as a Time Machine backup, and it works really well. And I've accidentally thrown away stuff before, and I've been able to retrieve it using Time Machine. So it's like they say, it's saved my bacon before. Anybody have any questions?
Ben had a comment. Ben, you want to share your comment? You have to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead, Ben.
I too am a huge fan of Time Machine. And one of the basic things that makes it different from ordinary backup, as most of you all know, if you did an ordinary traditional backup, you are overwriting all previous backups with the most recent version. So let's say that Kurt or Joe is working on a presentation for a class over a period of weeks, and at some point decides that wants to take a different approach and deletes a great deal of text, changes the document significantly, saves it again, but then much later decides I really liked my best version. By going into Time Machine and scrolling through each of the backups as he showed, he can go back to the earlier version of the same document that had a completely different content, because these are what are called incremental backups.
Right.
They don't replace each other. They are like, if you will, they are like photos that are being taken of the contents of the drive at different points in time.
That's a very good point, Ben. When I do the newsletter for CKCS, it can end up being 61 pages. I know, sigh, enter sigh here. And I may need to go back to an earlier version, and I go back in Time Machine and I've got it. It's no heavy lifting. It's right there. Saves the day. So everybody who uses a Mac, if you know people that do, tell them they need to be using Time Machine. I told all my students, I said, if I see you back in class in March, I want to see you using Time Machine because it will save you. It really will save you. Something's going to happen. Either your hard drive's going to die, like California, New Zealand, Alaska will have another earthquake. It's inevitable. Or your solid state drive 10 years from now will just quit working. The SSD solid state drives are typically more reliable over a long period. They, at least testing shows they are, than hard drives because there aren't any mechanical pieces. Solid state drives are what are in iPads and iPhones and Android phones, but they have a, everything has an expiration date on it. And if you don't have stuff backed up, like, what Phil's going to talk about, which is really important, you're going to lose all that stuff. And your loved one's going to come in and they're going to try to turn on your computer and it's not going to work. And they have no backup of anything, any of your banking stuff or taxes or anything.
I was guessing that your mention of an expiration date was a clever segue into Phil's presentation.
Yes, just like oranges have an expiration. That's really bad.
Because Phil's presentation is based on the fact that we have expiration dates.
Yes, exactly.
Well, don't buy any green bananas.
All right. Okay. Any more questions for Kurt?
Actually, yes, just one comment. Kurt, you said that the requirement is for an external hard drive. Well, just that term, I think, may be a little misleading. These days, you can get thumb drives that are very high capacity that would fit the bill and would be a lot more convenient than an enclosure with a drive and a cable. And you could put your Time Machine backups on a thumb drive very easily, just as well.
Will a thumb drive work with Time Machine if it's big enough and formatted right? I've always read, and maybe it's old information, but I've always read Apple always has said in the past, it has to be a hard drive or solid state drive. That's what I've read. But maybe you may be right. I don't know.
Okay, might be worth looking into because just the convenience of thumb drives these days is just ridiculous. I've got
Exactly.
a dozen around here. Just
I want to also mention real quickly, Phil, that I would consider buying an external hard drive the day after Thanksgiving or Cyber Monday. Tariffs have pushed the prices of these things through the roof. They're unbelievably expensive compared to what they were 6 months ago. It's ridiculous. So right now, would I buy one? No. Even on Amazon, even if it's on sale, I would wait until Black Friday or Cyber Monday and see what kind of price I could get to save money.
Real quick, Kurt, another thing that ought to be mentioned on the subject of drives, some folks may already have an external drive sitting on a shelf or one that they've backed up other things to and might think, well, I'll use this as my Time Machine backup also. Time Machine occupies the drive. You don't use a Time Machine, you don't use an external drive both as an Apple Time Machine and also for any other purpose. It formats the drive solely for use as a Time Machine drive.
It should be a dedicated drive.
Right.
That's all it's used for. Don't
Correct.
store anything else on it. When you want to back up other stuff, use a thumb drive, use a different drive. Exactly.
Okay, good
Well, you
point.
probably don't want to hear this then, but you can partition your drives into separate volumes and use one for Time Machine and one for miscellaneous.
I was skipping that qualification because most people don't know about and don't want to get into the matter of partitioning a drive.
Yeah, well, just because you can do it doesn't mean it's a good idea.
Right. So I was hiding that qualification and you caught me.
All right.
Okay.
Okay,
Moving on.
now we are going to switch over to Phil. This is the first time that he is presenting with us, and he will be a regular on our special interest group. So Phil, take it from
Okay,
here.
thanks, Bucky. Okay, I'm going to share. Let's see.
Yep,
Uh,
we see.
Okay, can you see it?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Okay, so bear with me because I'm not much of an expert on Zoom, but I'm sure I'll pick it up quick enough. The reason that we came up with this topic was I presented the cyber security class a few months ago now, and the question came up at the end. That's all well and good if you've secured all of your accounts and you've got everything locked down. What do you do if you die and you need to let somebody else in? Thought, okay, good question. Didn't think anything of it. Then at one of the recent Windows SIG meetings, the same question came up. We're talking about security. It's like, well, what happens if you pass away? And I thought, good question. Same question. Maybe we should look into this. So I've done a little bit of homework and I'd like to share that with everybody. So Apple does allow you to do some things with your digital, call them assets, your movies, your photos, all the things that you've got online, notes. But there's also some things that it doesn't let you do. So let's talk about what we can do first. And what Apple will do is they will let you define what they call a legacy contact. And that is somebody that can be given access to all of your cloud information after you pass away. And since we're talking about a pretty severe change in status, you have to do this before you pass away. So, okay, I know it's not your problem if you've already gone, but we're trying to be nice to the people we leave behind. It's very similar in Mac, iPad, and iPhone OS, and all of these are in your iCloud settings. So let's see if I can transfer to my system settings. Can you see my system settings here?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. And this is in sign in and security. So you go to your Apple account, then you scroll down a little. There's sign in and security. Then down at the bottom, you have a legacy contact down here, and you can click it to set it up. And you can identify one or more people that you want to be allowed into your digital information after you've gone. So we get this view and it says add a legacy contact. And if you already have people set up in Apple Family Sharing, you'll see them first. And it is passworded, so you need to authorize. So here's the folks that I have in my family. Got my son, my daughter, my wife, the usual suspects. But if you want somebody else, you can always choose somebody else here. And that has to be somebody that's already in your contacts on your device. It doesn't allow you to just type in name, email, phone number on the fly when you do this. So I'll go to choose someone else. And here we are, all the different contacts that we have. This is the couple of thousands of ne'er-do-wells and tree trimmers and dentists, doctors, the like. Everybody that's ever put anything into my contacts, I can choose them. So that's up to you. But if you have a family member that you want to be able to take care of all of this, this is where you would choose them. If you choose one or more of them here, they will be sent a notification saying that you want to designate them as a legacy contact, and they have to accept. If they do, it's all good. And then later, when the day comes, when you do actually pass, once Apple is informed that you've passed away and they do need some documentation like a death certificate, then your legacy contacts will be allowed into your digital information. I haven't gone through this yet because I'm still here. So I can't tell you how it runs to actually have people take you up on the offer, but there is a hyperlink in the PDF I uploaded into the chat that will take you to the Apple support page for legacy contacts, and then it also links to other pages that will give you those details. So without getting into all of the details of it, that's how you do it. To designate a legacy contact. And what that will get you into is it will give you the legacy access to, it's a special account, and it has, we've already used the term expiration date. These last for, I think, 3 years. So once you have once Apple has been told that you've passed away, your contacts have 3 years after they are given access to your information to do anything with it, download it, copy it, whatever they may want to do. So that's what they will give you access to, and it is the your photos, your notes, I think emails, but there's also a lot of things that Apple will not give you access to, and that's I think equally important. And that is going to be a lot of your financial information, and it won't share your passwords and any other information that you've got. So that's going to be a separate discussion that you'll have to have with the people that you're leaving behind. And excuse me, what this gets us into is a discussion of how do you give people access to your devices and to your accounts. First thing you have to think about is, let's say something happens suddenly. Hypothetically, I could get into a car wreck tomorrow and I'm gone and my computer's at home. My wife has her fingerprint able to access my account, so she can get into my laptop. That's something that I've done ahead of time. So she can then go into my passwords, she can go into my browser, and she can log into banks, brokerage accounts, like whatever you've got your 401ks or IRA money, be it Vanguard, Fidelity, Merrill Lynch, Schwab. I don't know what you've done, but if you can get into your information, then so can my wife once she gets back. Well, she gets into it rather. Second thing to notice, the example I gave is if I'm in a wreck, maybe my phone got wrecked. If you've got two-factor authentication set up and it's going to send you a code, how do you do that if you've got no phone? Most of the financial institutions, they will let you have 2 phone numbers that you can use for two-factor authentication. So I've made a point of all of my accounts have either mine and, sorry, not either, they've got both mine and my wife's phone numbers. So that once you get past the password stage, says, okay, we're going to send you a code. Which phone number shall I send it to? In this hypothetical, we'd send it to my wife, so she can then get into Fidelity or Chase or wherever it might be that the money is residing in. Second thing that we can be kept mindful of is passwords can be shared. And this is an Apple thing that we talk about and this is a shameless plug for the next cyber survival course. We will teach you how to share your passwords so that you can have a set of your passwords accessed by somebody else. In this example, we're talking about financial things. So I've got all of those shared with my wife. So she can actually get into them in her phone on her iPad because it's all in the cloud keychain. And then, as I just mentioned, because she's got her phone number ready to go with two-factor authentication, then she'll get any codes that are sent to her. So she can get in and still manage the money after I pass. Let's see, you've got a couple of other things. Let's see. Yes, these are some things that I found out while I was researching this, and it goes outside of what software has to do and is able to do. I was of the impression, and it turns out I was wrong, that once you pass away and the Social Security Administration is notified, they will not only stop sending your Social Security checks, which you would expect. I had somehow got the impression that they start to notify other people. That's not the case. The banks, the brokerage houses, all of your other financial institutions, they have to be notified and a death certificate provided to them for them to be aware that you've passed. And then most of them, once that happens, is they will freeze your accounts. Mostly. In the example of, let's say, a joint checking account, you need to make sure that your spouse or significant other, whoever you have the joint account with, they have right of survivor ownership on the account. In that case, they will be allowed to keep on using the account, and it won't just be closed down and all of your bills and other auto pays that come out of your checking account won't be frozen. So that's something that you need to take a look at before the event, just to make sure that your significant others, your loved ones, they can still get to the bank, get into the bank, get to your money, and still continue to use it, like I said, for paying bills, utilities, wherever they may be. That is about it. It's not something that I'm really looking forwards to, but it's something that, like funeral planning, something we're all going to have to grin and bear it and take care of at some point, hopefully. I hope that's some good information. There is quite a bit in the PDF that I put into the chat. And as I said, that's also got links to it and some examples on what you can do to get ahead of the curve and take care of business before the that dark day. Do you have any questions?
No, I have a comment. I made my daughter a beneficiary of my checking and savings account at the credit union.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You said the beneficiary word. I do have something to say about that too, but please carry on.
Well, that was
Phil, let me stop you, Carol, for a
Okay.
second. Go ahead and stop sharing so we can see you.
Okay. How's that?
Yes.
Okay.
Sue, continue.
Oh, I was just under the impression that if anything happens to me, that she can go right to the credit union and go on with business just as if nothing happened. I mean, as if she'd already been on there.
You mean if she's on your accounts?
Yes. Well, no, she's just the beneficiary of my accounts.
It's my understanding that the beneficiary of an account is the person who all the money is given to. It's disbursed from your account and given to them.
Right.
I don't believe it would stay in your account after you pass. And the one thing that I wanted to add to that is the term beneficiary, especially if you're looking at things like IRA or brokerage accounts or 401ks, is If you have a person designated as your beneficiary, that is the highest priority that financial institution has. They will take care of your beneficiary before anything to do with wills or probates. So, but being a beneficiary trumps being in a will. So make sure that if you've had some changes, so you've got an old retirement account, make sure your beneficiaries are current, or you'll end up with all of that money going to somebody that you had a falling out with, let's say. Or, maybe you got divorced and you didn't want your ex to get your money. That would happen because you haven't changed your beneficiary.
Well, I'm lucky she's the only one that's left, so she gets it all.
And
I
that's fair
have
enough, as long as that's what you intend.
I have a question. When you were talking about the legacy contact,
Yes.
my phone says that they have to have a legacy access key.
Yes. When you designate them as a legacy contact, then after they accept it, then I believe Apple will provide that key to them. Like I said, this is getting into the nitty-gritty details of how to do it. I'm pretty sure there is something in one of the Apple support pages about this if you want to read up, and there's links to that in the PDF I put there. But yes, you are correct, but I'm hazy on the details because I've never gone through it myself.
My phone, I just clicked on and this QR code comes up, and I think you have to make a copy of the QR code to give to your legacy contact.
That may be.
It says print a copy. Guess
Yeah,
you
so I guess a screenshot would be another way of doing that.
Yeah, until tonight I didn't even know this was on here. So the access key.
Yep.
Yes, just because you're dead doesn't mean they'll let anybody into your cloud account.
Right.
What Phil said is correct. When you go through those steps on your Apple device to designate a legacy contact, and that person accepts the role, it's like sending somebody an invite and they accept it. Then automatically the next step will be that Apple issues a numerical key, a long numerical key code that you will provide to the legacy contact. And that code, that numerical code that's called the key, is how they will authenticate themselves when they want to get into your data after your death. Does that
Right.
make sense?
I don't see anywhere that the legacy has to accept it. It's not, I don't have that. It just has their name, phone number, and email address, but I don't see that they have to accept it anywhere.
Well, I know that that is one of the steps, so I don't know where you are in the process or what may have happened. You may want to start over, but that's to ensure that you have selected someone who really wants to have that responsibility.
So
Yes.
Linda,
It sounds like we've got a workshop in the making here.
if you're interested in pursuing that, come visit us at iHelp, and somebody can look to see exactly where you are in that process, unless you figure it out before then. Okay.
I already have the key, access key, so I guess I just need to print that out and give it to my daughter.
Okay, interesting. Okay. All right. Well, this leads us to two things. One is people have been mentioning that in chat that you will see some of the handouts that we have provided for you. So you can go in there and download them if you know how to do that. And they will have different links on there. The second thing that I want to share with you is that next month we have our programs lined up, and we have another person that will be joining our SIG as a presenter, and that is Ben Cowgill. So welcome, Ben. We'll look forward to you joining us. Why don't you share with the group what you're going to be doing in December, and then I'll get Kurt and Phil and Joe to share what they're going to be doing.
Well, this was actually my wife's idea. I commented to her that I did not know what ground had been covered well before I joined all of you. And she's thinking of seasonal things right now. And the result of that is a topic, top 10 tips for getting the most joy from your iPhone during the holiday season. Things like getting ready to use your camera quickly and easily, setting up folders for camera shots that go into different folders within your Photos app for the events that you attend, how to use your phone quickly and easily while you are shopping and baking and all of those kind of things. So it will cover a variety of different Apple apps and it'll all be focused on using your iPhone very quickly and easily when you're rushing around in a lot of ways during the holiday season.
Okay, great. Thank you. Joe, what are you doing?
I'm going to do a couple of things. One is how you can record a phone call. Maybe you got somebody calling you and you want to record that information. I'll show you how to do that and also show you how to listen to it after you've made the recording. Next is in the new iOS 26, Apple put out how you can customize a message background. So some different ways that you do that, and that's it.
All right, thank you. Kurt, what are you doing?
Berkey, during the math class that I just taught, we went through very simple tips, some things people can follow to make their life easier using the computer. And they're not well known. A lot of people didn't know them. So I thought I would just go through some things that people, Mac users, can do to make life easier, to make the computer work better for them that they may not know about because nobody's ever told them. Apple is really good at selling stuff, but nothing they sell comes with a manual anymore. Same thing with Microsoft. There's no book. So I try to fill that in and provide the help, that would have been in the manual.
Perfect. Great. Thank you, Kurt. And Phil, what's your topic?
Okay, next month I'm going to be talking about reminders, the app that comes on the Mac, the iPad, and the iPhone. I'm going to go a little bit further than just straightforward reminders of remind me to pick up the dry cleaning 3 o'clock tomorrow, because it can do a lot more than that. And I want to get into setting up reminders where you can also break it down into what they call subtasks, all the little things you need to do before you can say you're done with something, how to set up reminders for when you arrive somewhere, because it's also location aware. So I can have it give me a reminder to when I leave home, go to Kroger and get my prescriptions, which I don't know when it's going to happen. And then also, and this is one of my favorites, is it's another example of sharing between devices. You can also share reminders with somebody and make someone else the recipient of the reminder. So, for instance, if I want my son to don't forget to bring home my socket set because he's been working on his car, I can put a reminder in his phone and he'll see the reminder and I'll know he's done it when he checks off the reminder because it's shared reminder. So it can do a lot more than people are taking advantage of, and I think we can do a lot with that.
Brookie, I'm pleased to say that I will now have 9 tips, not 10, because I will count on Phil to think about how to use reminders when you're rushing around during the holiday season. Reminders were going to be one of my top 10 ways to use your phone joyfully, and I now delegate all of that to Phil.
Did I say reminders? I meant calendars. Sorry.
Well, both.
Sorry to steal your thunder there, Ben.
Hand in hand.
All right, so we've got a good presentation set up for next month. You all have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye for
Bye.
now.